Taurus or a Virgo. I will be putting the link down in the description to part 1 of this video. And thank you for your patience. So Capricorn, if you would like, go ahead and let anything that you'd like to know more about float up to the surface of your thoughts so that we can address them in the reading. If these are things that cause you discomfort or stress, hi Jared, thank you for coming. Just allow yourself to breathe gently through that tension. Inhale the divine white light of Source and exhale all of that tension and stress. And it will return to Source. It will be transmuted. Okay. So Capricorn, I will be putting that link in the description to part 1, but I will not be putting timestamps because we're just going to jump right into the reading here. And what a reading we have in store for you today. We have a grand total of 0 major arcanas in your reading today. And about an even number or an evenly placed number of reversals. So we do have fewer reversals, than the uprights. So it looks like a very balanced reading, and it looks like there is a focus for you in the current state of affairs on mundane day-to-day situations. So let's jump right in. Capricorn, here in the past, we have perplexity, and it's showing up in the reverse. Now, oftentimes cards will show up in the reverse in the past when these are situations that we have already passed through and we're now on the other side looking back. This is Jupiter energy. This hieroglyph is an N sound and can sometimes be used in words meaning without. So there's an abundance, but at the same time, there's having to do with out. And that has to do with bridging the gap in this polarization that we see up here. In the one hand, a beautiful flower, and in the other, a potentially poisonous serpent. So this figure is having to balance these things, these options. And there could be a lack of clarity there with that. Could be more than 2 options. We only see those 2 things clearly illustrated. There could be an abundance of options, and we just don't see them here on the card. And it could have been quite a tricky situation to navigate. One would want to be using one's King of Swords-like discernment to make it through a situation like this. But because this is in the past, it's possible that the situation since then has greatly simplified for you, Capricorn. Let's look here at the current situation. We have love and desire showing up. This is solar energy, blessed by the sun. We have Sekhmet up here, who was one of the aspects of the Eye of Ra, one of the harsher aspects of the Eye of Ra, not pleasant like Hathor, who would be more closely associated with love and desire. We also have one of the protective serpent cobra goddesses down here at the bottom, entwined with a lotus or a lily, possibly. Oh, Jared, that's very interesting. Did you find out anything good? Was it helpful? I like reading for myself also. The masculine figure is holding an ankh, and the feminine figure has this arm outstretched, so kind of gesturing in the direction that perhaps she would like for the couple to travel. Now, we know that our relationships are not the only thing that provide us with life, but sometimes when we are deeply within the throes of that feeling of love, we can feel like love, life and love are very inextricably linked. Crossing, we have the Weaver. This is interesting because this card, associated with Venus, we have Aset, suckling the boy Horus up here at the top. This card is associated with traditionally feminine work. There's big girl boss energy associated with this as well, Capricorn. So you could be experiencing at this time your work life being in balance with your relationship or with your ability to go out and date, because the love and desire card would definitely have to do with your dating life, but not necessarily have to do with being in a monogamous relationship. Love and desire, the emphasis is on romantic love, but the desire could also be for a home. The desire could be for a certain possession. But the implication being that burning, that questing, the way that the sun shines in the sky and we can't live without it, right? That's what is being emphasized here. Perhaps this particular endeavor, it could be textile crafts, it could be a traditionally feminine career, it could be a way of making money that is traditionally considered feminine. Maybe that is bringing you closer to the things that you desire. Down here, this is the Imam Sila, and it tells us about the origins and foundations upon which the midheaven, the goal or destiny, will be built. We have exchange. So this being Jupiterian energy, and we do in fact see that this person is trading these two fowl for this plate of vegetables and fruits. So there is a lot of equanimity implied in this card, obviously about the exchange of goods and services, and this being down in the foundational placement and the truth of the matter. I feel like there's a certain amount of energy exchange involved in this, that perhaps part of this endeavor involves desire. It could be that somebody has an OnlyFans page, or that you are playing into those desires that people have, and that is how you are drawing financial resources to yourself at this time. And remember, we have this perplexity in the reverse in the past. And what that tells me specifically, because we have this Jupiter energy here too, that is leading to abundance, that maybe when you first started out doing this thing, that you felt like you were kind of over your head with it. And now it looks like you're quite comfortable in what you're doing. From your perspective, this is a very interesting reading so far, Capricorn. Very mercantile. I wouldn't have expected anything less. Oh, one suggestion I have for that, Jared, is to take a picture of the cards, and then you can look at them anytime that you have an opportunity, and you don't have to leave them out or anything like that. And you can use it as a meditative device or to contemplate the meaning. So Capricorn, we have here the card of the dispenser. We have Chnum down here at the bottom, who was one of the creator gods and who threw the world on his potter's wheel. We have here Uranus energy. So instead of Jupiter energy, where the expansion and the resources are coming to us. Oh, that's really cool. Do you practice often? I love blondes. I married one. This person is providing for these groups. This could be seen a bit like that Six of Pentacles card too. And with this Uranus energy, there's an implication there of social groups, and in this case, might imply stratification. So we're talking about lower income versus higher income groups of people, demographic speaking. And you would be, Capricorn, represented by this person in the situation. So it's possible that you are providing for others at this time. Down here, from an outside person's perspective, we have this card of versatility. Now, this card has a lot of similarity to this card. But whereas this person is a little bit perplexed, a little bit confused and befuddled, here, this person has mastery over these two. And in this case, we still have the white, but this one is gold. So these could even be two different metals, silver and gold, or platinum and electrum, or something like that. We do have another jackal-headed god up here. She has these lotuses growing out. Maybe that's papyrus. She has these water plants growing out of her head, showing the fertility of her ideas and how for everything that happens, she has a new idea to attack it. And this too is Uranus energy. But here, this card is showing up in the reverse. People might not appreciate your versatility. They might not be able to see it readily, Capricorn, which is fine. Perhaps they don't need to. Which is why what happens next is going to be shocking. Here we have another card with Chnum on it. This is a card of innovation. We have Chnum up here, and we have one of our protective, could be Wedget, it could be Renenutet, one of our protective Ureus serpents down here. This is Neptune energy. So again, about that divine inspiration, a divine spark of inspiration. This person gifted with power and also with life and health. the way that this person is dressed, they are most likely royalty. And them walking through this portal shows that moment of inspiration in which innovation is able to unfold. That card is in the upright in the future, Capricorn. And so you're very, very close to your next big thing. I can feel it. Up here in the hopes and fears. We have the Alliance card in the reverse. So here, in the current situation, we have love and desire. And you might have found a good way to market that to others. But where it comes to your own ability to draw people into your life, you're afraid that you might be falling short. This is a Venus energy card. In this case, could be romance, but is not strictly romance. This could be a very close friendship also. And again, we have very strong iconography about women, that we have this Tiet knot, which depicted the bandage that was used during one's menstrual cycle and was a sacred symbol of Isis. Both of these figures are holding an ankh. So whereas this card, this person is presenting themselves as the one from whom life is going to come, right? This person does not have their own ankh. But on this card, these people are on absolutely equal footing, that both of them are bestowed with this power of the ankh, the life and health. They are both also wearing these diadems, again with the Yurei eye, the sacred cobras, the protective cobras. Here they have the same headdress. They both have the protection of that cobra. But here they're on more even footing. Neither one has to entice the other into a different direction. And this might be something that you have avoided. It is possible that you seek out partnerships in which there is a power imbalance, or that you prefer to be in more of a provider role and don't necessarily want a partner who is on even footing with you. You inversely might be afraid that because you have placed yourself in this position, that it will make it that much more difficult for you to find a partnership in which you are on even footing. Up here in the midheaven. So this is going to be the result of this exchange. We have the purification card. There is a purification that's going to need to take place. This is the Nile carp, it is a sacred fish. We have, again, this active Mars energy. We have the red and the white representing the two lands. We have Ra up here at the top. You can tell it's him because he's got that sun disk on his head. So this purification would be a process, would be similar to what you might see with the Judgment card. It would be similar possibly to some of the processes by which you made this perplexing situation less complicated. There is action involved. There could even be ceremony involved. It could be getting a divorce for some of you. It could be getting an annulment. It could be a ritual purification that you undergo. It could be purging possessions that you no longer need. or want. There are many potentials for that purification. It could even involve going to a healthcare professional and getting your body into tip-top shape. The final outcome for you, Capricorn, in this situation is deduction. So we have a few cards here in your reading that kind of talk about these transitional parts of your life. We have this card from the immediate future, which is innovation, walking through this portal to something new. We have this purification, passing through the two waters to be purified. And then we have this one, which is very similar to innovation. This would be a lunar energy, whereas innovation is the Neptunian energy. And remember what I said about the moon being the lower vibration of the energy of the planet Neptune. This is a word which means infinity. We have the hands reaching downward. So it could be about infinite ability to grasp onto things in the material plane in some capacity. And this person walking through this door, that is kind of their eureka moment, much like we were talking about with the innovation card. Deduction, of course, bringing this cycle of perplexity to its final conclusion. All right, so now I am going to do the bibliomancy for this reading. And when I have finished that, I'm going to go over to the members side of the channel and I'm going to do some crystal scrying with this piece of black obsidian. So if that is of interest to you, you are of course cordially invited, but your presence here on the channel is appreciated in whatever form it takes. The general who thoroughly understands the advantages that accompany variation of tactics knows how to handle his troops. So basically, what that is saying to you is about versatility. You very well could, but you probably wouldn't hammer a nail using a screwdriver. Just like you wouldn't try to caulk your tub with a hammer. You very well could do those things. But it's about using the right tool for the right job. Thank you to everyone who joined me for the live streams today. It's always such a delight to have you here. I'm going to go now and do the crystal scrying, and I look forward to seeing you again.